this is part 50 of A Link Between Worlds, and in this part, we're going to be returning to the Treacherous Tower.
For the fourth time.
For the fourth time in this game.
The third time was enough.
And that was just a couple parts ago, back in parts 45 and 46.
46, yeah, so we're doing actually the same stage of it.
Yeah.
We're just getting the Super Net as a reward this time instead of the Super Lamp.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to do something a little bit different in this part.
Yeah, we decided this would be a good time to kind of compare and contrast Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past, since A Link Between Worlds is a direct sequel to, and very similar to, A Link to the Past. So we thought this would be a good time to go over some of the similarities, the differences between the two games.
What we liked, what we didn't like, and some of the stuff we've already talked about throughout the game, but we thought this was just a good time just to kind of go off topic a little bit, have some good discussions, because we've really not been able to talk about it in Link throughout this game about just, the whole sequel.
Yeah, and there's no reason we want to sit here and talk about killing these same 50
why not?
enemies all over
Why not? That'd be fun. But I want to just go ahead and start off with Treacherous Tower versus Ganon's Tower and Link to the Past. Like, did you like the switch up? Did you not like the switch up?
I didn't. I liked having the tower here, and it was fun, it was appropriate and everything, but I liked having, Ganon's Tower as an actual dungeon here in the middle of, the mountains and everything. I
thought it was just fitting where it was. It's awesome, Death Mountain is just a cool place to be at.
It is.
But then, using all the sages right there and just, it felt like it was in the right place, whereas this, I don't know how I feel about this. I thought it was in a good location, but it took out that evilness that I think Death Mountain had in Link to the Past.
I agree, because this is basically just obviously, it's a gauntlet. It's just, it's kind of like a side game.
Now, I am glad that they did put something here
me too.
in its place, and it's also a tower, but I'm kind of with you. I did like Ganon's Tower more up here, but then I guess you could kind of relate that to Laurel Castle versus the
pyramid.
The pyramid. I think it's actually called the Pyramid of Power.
That makes sense.
But which one of those did you like more? I guess.
Well, the Pyramid of Power, if you think about it, back to Link to the Past, only had there was a fairy fountain and Ganon's room.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but it looks so cool.
It looks amazing.
And one of the things I hate about Link Between Worlds is we don't get that backdrop shot.
Oh, I know.
That we got in Link to the Past when we first got to the Dark World, and I don't know, just for some reason, a pyramid's not been in many Zelda games.
No, not
at all. So having it in that game was cool, and just for some reason, even though there wasn't much to it, I really did like it.
And plus, I just like the idea of in A Link to the Past, you fought Aghanim in Ganon's Tower, and then you had to go to the Pyramid of Power to finish it off. And this one, you could skip this entirely if you wanted to.
Now, I guess it does make sense that the final dungeon, the final boss would be in the middle where the castle, where the central location is. But still, I think I actually like both instances of how Link to the Past did it.
Me too, me too. Now, one thing I wasn't a big fan of, and you mentioned a few minutes ago that you actually kind of liked this when we were discussing before we started, but I wasn't a big fan of how both games basically had you doing the exact same objectives. The stories are different, but your objectives throughout the game are almost identical. It's you get the pendants, you get the Master Sword, you free the sages, and that's it.
Yeah, and one thing that was different was that we actually got the Pendant of Courage before we tackled the Eastern Palace. So they threw that little switch up right there, but the story was very similar with the 3 pendants and also the 7 sages. But I didn't mind that, because the fact that it was a sequel, I kind of thought we were going to get something very similar to the first game.
And it was.
And they were able to kind of keep it very similar, obviously. Yeah. Which is actually one thing that I did like. I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be a little bit different, but not too different.
It almost feels in some respects, almost more like a remake as opposed to a sequel, I feel like. Because of how
this is a heck of an upgrade from Link to the Past.
Absolutely.
The graphics are amazing.
How many generations of technology later, of course. But but even though the objectives are kind of the same, I did like the fact that they mixed up the stories though. It wasn't about Light World versus Dark World. It was Low Rule was a whole new world.
And what a clever name too. Low Rule versus High Rule. That was cool.
And the Upside Down Triforce.
Well, in Link to the Past, Aghanim just took you, he transformed you basically to the Dark World. Yeah. So it was like a parallel world or something like that, where you can kind of look at Low Rule as it's upside down or below or something like that with this game. Yeah.
So I liked how they kept the story
or the same world or some crap like that. I don't know.
I know what you were getting at. Well, it's kind of similar to you got to think what Skull Kid or whoever drug in Ocarina of Time versus Majora's Mask pulled you into Termina.
Oh yeah, Termina.
So it's another different world.
Yeah. Oh man, we're getting deep now.
I know.
We're getting really deep.
It's how many worlds do we have here? But just like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, though, there was similar characters between the two worlds.
Yeah, I did like that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's it.
Well, I think we both
thought you were gonna continue.
I thought you
Sorry.
were going to go, then you thought I was going to go.
I feel like I've been talking a lot.
One thing, I know that we have said this, is like, one thing that really bothered me, like, is how Turtle Rock got to where it is at in this game. And then, I guess the ice rooms make sense because that could actually be the old Turtle Rock that, I don't know, fell apart or something like that. But how Turtle Rock became a dungeon down Lake Hylia is one thing that just kind of bothered me a little bit.
I guess on the one hand, it makes sense that like Turtle Rock would be in the lake because turtles are water.
Well, that's the thing with Ice Palace and Link to the Past. It really did not make any sense
at all
being like in Lake Hylia, whereas like in this game, it did make sense being on top of Death Mountain.
I was a fan of how they did introduce, like along the lines of the dungeons, a couple of new dungeons, like the House of Gales.
Yes,
was a totally brand new dungeon. They totally switched up like the Desert Palace.
Yes.
Which was weird though.
I don't know. I really didn't like how they did the whole desert thing. Like one thing, like we visit the desert so early, and
right off the bat, almost.
And like so, not being able to like get to that part initially, like in Hyrule, I didn't like that part of it, and I thought it was cool how the dungeon went back to Hyrule in this game. But then I feel like I missed that whole Misery Mire area that I love in Link to the Past. Now, yes, we did go in it, but
not for very long.
It just had a different feeling to it.
It did, and I'm with you. Like I didn't like.
Definitely didn't have the same feeling because if it had the same feeling, it'd been the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that though. It felt a little weird, like not being able to explore that big chunk of Hyrule in that bottom left corner. Until
they were so used to visiting early in the game, But
once we clear out this level, I think this is the 23rd level.
Sure, sounds good.
This will wrap up part 50 of A Link Between Worlds.